Hello everyone, welcome to my digital space. This is Isaiah Oreko one more time, and I'm very glad to have you here today. And I'm sure it's going to be a great ride. This is powered by the Holy Spirit, so therefore your understanding is non-negotiable. I believe strongly that as you listen to this, God would give you ideas, God would quicken your understanding. So today I'll be taking us back to Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. It says that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning God created. So the first thing that was said of God, the first responsibility of God that was mentioned in Genesis was creation. And we all know that we are made in God's image. That simply implies that by nature we all have the urge and the desire to want to create something, to want to make something. What exactly is creation? Creation is the process of inventing something, bringing something to life, forming something that the physical eyes cannot see and bringing it out into life, something you've imagined and then bringing it up to life. Have you noticed how we humans constantly have the urge to want to do something, but we sometimes fight it because we think that we are not ready for it. We think that we don't have the capacity to make it happen. When you take a closer look at a baby, when a baby gets to a starting stage and time, they just naturally have that desire to just want to do something. Most especially if you buy them a toy. There are some toys you would buy for a baby that with time, you don't even need to tell them how to put it up together. It could be like a Lego toy. They would instinctively find a way to get it fixed, get it done. That is the desire of humans to create something. There is an inherent desire to want to make something happen. And that's why when you look at media today, left and right, you just see people creating something. You see people write. You see people speak. You see people make music. You see people do all sorts of things. I'm saying this so as to ignite you if you have been killing the desire to bring to life what has been occurring to you. Stop telling yourself the lie that there's nothing you want to come up with that does not exist out there. I tell you that there's nothing you want to come up with that has your signature. There's nothing you want to come up with that nobody's ever going to do it like you. Nobody. Some of you are already threatened by the massive development and upgrade in artificial intelligence. You just start giving up, thinking that yes, AI is going to replace your creative prowess. But the truth of the matter is, you still even have to tell it what to do. That is, you must have conceived an idea, and then you even tell the technology what to do. That is, the technology itself will not really still be able to fully actualize what you have conceived. All I'm saying is this: there is no life without creation. You can't enjoy life without creating stuff. One of the stories that really interests me in the Bible is the story of Noah. How God told him to build an ark. without no experience. Noah is not a builder, but God sat him down, started giving him length, measure, height, cubits, the type of wood to use. And by the Spirit of God, he was able to come up with that design. He was able to come up with. It took years, but he was able to build it. See, it is the same way God can inspire you to build something that you have no experience in. Because we have the capacity to build. That's what we're made for. And creating something necessarily can be in any form. It could be writing. It could be in any form. We have a lot in us that we have killed simply because we don't trust it enough. Simply because we think that people would not regard it. You do not need anybody's validation. Only if you knew how much people would want to think the way you think. Only if you'd know how much people would want to say things the way you see them. I remember years ago, I would always play in the compound with some unwanted items in the environment, right? And then one day, I picked up an earpiece. What I did was this was years ago, I was still like maybe 10 or 11. I picked an earpiece, and what I did was to cut the wires from the earpiece. And then I now took the part where the sound is emitted from. I put those parts in my ears after having cut the wires from the earpiece. And I would always just put those two pieces in my ears every day. Anytime I find that earpiece, I just cut it. I put it in my ears. And as at then, there was no such a thing as wireless earpiece. There was no such a thing as AirPods. I mean, years later, AirPods came into fruition. But there is a boy somewhere in Africa that has done something like that, right? An idea that was not evident, or something that was not generally prominent or known, So, whatever God inspires you to do, forget your experience, forget the fact that you do not have the capacity to do them. One thing we should also know about creation is this, that we created something does not mean that it's going to succeed. Creation can fail, but the essence of creating things is not the bone of contention now. You can create stuff and then that thing will still fail. Remember how the Bible was talking about God said he regretted making man, something he created. Yeah, he said he regretted it because what he created failed him. That's the ultimate builder. He regretted it. But then here we are. He still loves us fully and he's still our Father. It could be a business. Anything that occurs to you that you create may fail. But don't stop creating. Don't stop thinking. One thing you should keep in mind is you need to fight factors that limits your sense of creativity. Yeah. You need to sit deeply and think of why you find it hard to be proud of yourself, of why you easily dismiss the ideas that occur to you. You need to do that. Could it be low self-esteem? Could it be lack of belief in yourself? Could it be your background? Could it be the fact that maybe you were not the brightest in school? Could it be the fact that you have let people's opinion and perspective shape your mindset? So there are things that hold us back, and those things limit our creative prowess. When you get to a mental state of not caring of what people think about you. I tell you for a fact, you'll be surprised at the wonders that is hidden within you. You need to get to a mental capacity where you just do yourself. Because the more you create, the faster ideas come. Yeah. The faster ideas come. This is to tell you today that there's nothing you cannot do. There's nothing you cannot achieve. There's no height you cannot get to. Believe it. Let nobody deceive you. Your type is not out there. You're special. You're capable. You can do it. Get those creative juices flowing again. The world is yours to take. See you again.